Hi, my name is Elizabeth Pampalone, and I'm here today to talk to you about Absolute Marketing. So, Absolute Marketing is a 5-day system that I developed that helps you to create all of your marketing for one whole year in just 5 days. And the way that I do that is I start with 5 elements of marketing and I break them down for one day each. So, we spend one day on branding, we spend one day on your website and get it from start to finish, start from scratch. We start on the third day, we start on your social media, which is just insane that we can get done a whole year of social media in one day. And then on day 4, we work on blogging, which is great for your SEO on your website. And on day 5, we work on your email marketing. Now, you might think this is impossible, but it's not. I'm going to actually break down each piece for you and give you some tips of some things you can do today in your nonprofit that's going to help you to gain a little bit of absolute marketing in your own nonprofit. So I believe that marketing is actually more beneficial than even grants and large foundation funds that will give you money, because this is going to help you build a fan base that's going to be there for you no matter what. During bad times, during good times, when you need something done, when you need something handled, as far as, getting the community together and actually bringing them to your aid and to the aid of the people you're helping, it's really, really great to have this foundation going. So we're going to, collect email addresses. We're going to get people together. We're going to do stuff on Facebook and social media. And so that's going to build this solid foundation so that when you need to reach out and say, hey, we're doing this, we need help with that, those people are going to come to your aid really, really quickly. And you're not going to have to worry so much about, wow, we need $20,000. You're going to say, we need $10 from each of our supporters. And there you are, $20,000. So that kind of thing can really, really be impactful. And also, if you never need volunteers or anything like that, it can really help there. So let's start with the 5 pieces. We're going to start with reading them one at a time and just go through them all. Start with branding. Your brand is so important. It really is the essence of who you are, what you do, and it can have a huge impact on how people perceive your nonprofit or your organization. And when you look at your branding, it's not just about the pretty logo and does it look good and is it nice? Does it really connect? Does the message you're sending really connect with the people you're trying to make it impact? And this is not the constituents. Obviously, the constituents are the ones that are receiving the help. And sometimes you want to connect with them in a little bit of a way as well. But most of the time, you're outreaching to them. So you're saying, hey, we're here to help you. Let us help you. But when it comes to donations and donors and even volunteers, you need to make sure that those people are attracted to you and you're not having to constantly outreach and say, help us, give us money. Because that's what the hard part about fundraising and nonprofits is it's like you're always asking for money, which is true. But it doesn't have to be this like burdensome thing and worrying about, well, COVID happened, people don't have money and things like that. Your message and your brand should be so strong that you don't even have to work on bringing those people to you. They're just like there. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. How can I help you? So your brand should have that really strong foundation and message. If you're not sure if it does, what you need to do is you need to find someone who's within your target age bracket. If you don't know what your target age bracket is, that would be some research you need to do. So you want to find someone in your target age bracket who has the income level that you would need for them to support your organization. And you'll want to just find like maybe 2 or 3 people that you don't know, maybe through a Facebook group or maybe through some friends, and you want to show them your logo. You want to send them maybe to your website. And maybe you just want to show them your mission statement and say, respond back to me with what you felt, what you thought, and what was interesting, what was confusing. And those kind of questions and just getting like a little focus group going can really help you get insight into what your brand is all about currently and where it needs to be fixed and changed. You can also talk to professionals. I mean, I do this all the time. I do audits all the time. And I help people by just looking at their brand, telling them from a marketing perspective, this is going to work. You need to change these things, etc. So I can give you, instead of giving you like questions to ask or you asking me questions, I'm going to give you what I know is going to be best for your organization. So that's first, branding, got that out of the way. Now that we've got a solid brand, we can now build our website on that solid foundation. You really can't build a website on a brand that's kind of so-so. When you do that, the website also fails. So when your brand is not connecting, your messaging is not connecting, now your website, when your brand is not connecting and your messaging isn't connecting, now your website is following suit. And what happens to a lot of people is they miss the branding part or they don't do it quite well. Then they have the website built on top of that not so good brand. And now they wonder, why isn't it working? Why is my website not working? I don't have any SEO, whatever the questions are that they're asking themselves. They're basically just saying it doesn't work. And why would it not be working? Well, the answer actually is that we need to go back to that brand. We need to go back and look and say, oh, that brand isn't right. Now we can build the website on a brand that's correct and that's actually solid and gives us the message we want from the organization. So once the brand is solid, the website should follow suit. Take everything you created on the branding side, incorporate that into the website, and make sure the website runs really well. It should be functional. Your website should almost be like a salesperson for you or like a fundraiser for you. Like when you're not there, when you're sleeping, that should be fundraising for you. And by that I mean it should have forms. Maybe I'm a person, I give this example all the time. I'm doing laundry, it's midnight, I'm cruising on Facebook, I see something of yours, maybe it's an ad, maybe it's a post from someone that I know, and I click on there and I go to your website. Now I'm cruising around and maybe I have a question about what you do. So I want to go to a contact form. And then I never hear back. Maybe you're not getting the contact form. Maybe it's not in there correctly. Maybe the email address is wrong where the contact form is being sent. Maybe I'm on the website now and I'm thinking, I just got that bonus and I'm gonna give this to this group. I'm really, really intrigued by what they're saying. I'm connecting with their brand, and now I want to give them money. I have to send a check? Oh, they want me to give them money in person? Oh, they don't have an online portal? Oh, I have to use PayPal? I can't use my credit card? Never mind. But now I was there. It was midnight. I was there. I was ready to pay money. And I didn't get to because maybe the website didn't have those capabilities. So there's all kinds of things like that that happen all the time, and we never know about them. We never hear about them because we're not in those situations, and no one's going to tell us. I'm not going to call you tomorrow and say, hey, I was on your website last night. I was going to buy something, or I was going to, buy one of your tote bags and give money, or I was going to donate, but I didn't do it because of this reason. No one's going to tell you that. So what you have to do is make sure that your website is fully functional and that it's acting as like a salesperson or a fundraiser for you. Now let's move on to social media. This is one of my favorites. It is also one of the biggest jobs ever that you will ever do, but once it's done, it is so, so freeing and so just gratifying that you've done it and that it's done and that it's over with and you don't have to touch it for a whole year. So a lot of my clients come to me and they say, I don't know what to post on social media. I don't know when. Should I be doing ads? There's all these questions. So what I like to do is simplify it. I like to say, algorithm-proof social media. We don't care about the algorithm. Here's the algorithm. We throw it out. We don't need it. What we're going to do is create a week schedule. So maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to have 3 types of posts we're going to post out there, and we're going to do those every single day of the week for the rest of the year. And we're also going to add things like holidays, birthdays, maybe, I have one group that's a reading literacy program. And they do authors' birthdays. And those are like their holidays, some of their holidays. They also do normal federal holidays as well. There's a ton of reading holidays as well. So they put those in too. So now their calendar's pretty full, but it's still got some gaps. So then we go to those gaps and we take, let's say, Mondays. We have, let's say, 52 weeks out of the year. It's 52 Mondays. Maybe there's not 52 left because now we have all those holidays in there. What we're going to do is create whatever's left. Maybe there's 40 Mondays left. We're going to create those motivational Monday posts. Now we've got 40 motivational Monday posts, a few holidays on Mondays, and we have 52 weeks of Mondays. Now we're going to look at Wednesday, do the same thing, choose another topic. Maybe it's what should I read next Monday or Wednesdays. Maybe it's follow us Fridays and we link to different people, or follow Fridays and we link to different authors you can follow, maybe local, maybe not. So those are just some examples of what we can do for a literacy group. And there's tons of examples like that you can do for any type of organization when it comes to fundraising and in that type of capacity and any kind of nonprofit. There's tons of holidays you can find. There's tons of topics you can look at. And you can post 1 day a week all the way to 7 days a week. And I usually recommend once a day. Now, this is not to say that you're going to be out there in every news feed. You're not going to be seen everywhere, but you're going to be seen more than you are now, because if you're not even posting now because you're getting overwhelmed and it's just getting left on that to-do list, we're going to move this from the to-do list to the done list, because this should not be on your plate every day. Now, let's say you're thinking, well, what if something happens in the next 6 months? It's really great. We win an award. We get a grant. We have a new donor that's amazing and we want to share about them. We have a new partnership. Whatever those things are, post them. As they happen, just post more stuff. I have a lot of realtors who say, well, I don't know what houses I'm going to sell in the next 6 months. Well, the thing is, when those things happen to you, when those exciting things happen, when you're selling a house, whatever that is, right? Whatever those exciting things that are happening in your organization right that moment, you're going to want to post about it right then. You're going to have the fire, you're going to have the mental capacity, you're going to be thinking about it because it's happening and you're dealing with it at that moment. So then you're going to say, I'm going to post this on social media really fast, and you just do it. Now, you're probably doing that right now, but it's probably so many gaps in between, right? You might post this one day, you're so excited, it's the 4th of July, and you posted something about, 4th of July, and then like 3 weeks go by, 7 weeks go by, 10 weeks go by. Oh, there's a new thing that you're excited about. Now you post again. And now another 3 months go by. So what happens is with this foundational social media, algorithm-proof social media, every single time you're posting, maybe 3 times a week, maybe 7 times a week, or 5 times a week, that's going on for you all the time, no matter what. And it's all evergreen stuff. A lot of people say to me, well, what if another COVID thing happens and we have to change our whole strategy? No, you don't. The stuff that we set up in the social media day, or that you should be setting up in your social media day, all of that stuff is evergreen. It's never going to change. The authors' birthdays are still going to be the same. Motivation is still going to be needed for everyone in the world. You always need to be encouraged and motivated. And so all those things are going to be the same. And even if you want to put something a little more time sensitive in your week, then that's fine too. And maybe that's the only day you have to go back and tweak. But you don't have to change anything really. You shouldn't have to. So that's day number 3. Now let's move on to day number 4, blogging. Well, blogging is something that a lot of people say, I'm not a writer. I'm not good at that. If you can write 9 sentences, let it sink in, 9 sentences, you can write a blog. So what we're going to do is talk about what is in a blog post. The anatomy of a blog post, which I actually have an ebook on, the anatomy of a blog post is actually the title, a really good title. That's got to be your one sticking point. You got to write a really good title. You're going to write a great title. You're going to write an intro 3 sentences. You're going to write a meat 3 sentences, which is that body section, what this article is really about. And then you're going to write a closing 3 sentences. That's it. You don't have to have these long drawn out things. They don't have to be so crazy. You can literally write 9 sentences if you wanted to, at a minimum, and say that's your blog post. Now, I will tell you something. Once you pick a topic and you have a title, and you say to yourself, I only have to write 3 sentences, you usually end up with like 5. That's typically what happens. Most people can't write just 9 sentences. They need to say more. Once they get on that roll and they're like, okay, 9 sentences, I can do that. It'll take me like 10 minutes. Okay, let me start. It takes them about 30 minutes to write a blog post because they're writing more than they thought they knew, than they thought they had in their mind about that subject. So, and if you're getting too wordy, if you're going more than 5 sentences per paragraph and you're like just all this stuff, break it up. Now you have 2, 3, maybe 4 articles, and you want to make them short enough that you as a person, a busy person, would be able to read it in a very short amount of time. So maybe like a 5-minute article. All right, so that's going to be blogging. Very, very simple. And you want to just make a great graphic to go with it. I always use canva.com. It's super easy. They also have a ton of templates, which is nice. So now we're going to day 5, and this is email marketing. Now, a ton of people tell me email is dead. It ain't, so don't worry about it. The first thing you probably did this morning after your coffee and maybe your breakfast was check your email. And sometimes maybe even before that. I'm a before breakfast kind of person, so I always check my email before then. But if you are doing that, if you're checking your email, then guess what? So are all the other people in your age bracket and probably just outside of your age bracket both ways. And what we're doing here is we're looking at what people are getting in their email inboxes. Now, we don't want to send too many, and we don't want to send too few. Probably right now you're not sending any, or you're probably sending too few. We also don't want to do a newsletter. That's out. Let's just get rid of the newsletter. No way, we're not needing to do that. The reason we don't do that anymore is because it's too overwhelming for the consumer. And what happens is the consumer will get this email with this great subject line. They'll open it. And they'll see the one thing that they really wanted to see, maybe at the bottom in this little square. And then they have to click, and then they have to go to the site, and then there's, all these things, right? Now they don't have time. Now they need to, get on a Zoom call, or they're going to work, or they're doing all these other things, right? They have dinners ready, whatever. So they're not able to really fully give it their attention. So the one thing they really wanted to see, now they've waded through all the other stuff, they don't have time to read the thing they wanted to read. So what we try to do is send one thing per email. Now you might need to send 10 emails a month to make that happen, or 5 emails a month. But you need to talk about one thing at a time, because what's going to happen is not everyone is going to open that email. But the people that it resonates with, they're going to open it. And the people that it doesn't, they're just going to read the title and go, nah, that doesn't apply to me. Moving on. And that's fine. What you want to do is make sure that those people are not unsubscribing. So as long as they're not unsubscribing, we're good. But if they start unsubscribing, then you know maybe your titles aren't great, maybe your subject lines aren't great, or maybe they weren't the right people for your organization. Maybe they aren't the right people for your brand. And that's okay. Not everyone is going to be for you. And if there's some people that were for you and now they're kind of waning on that, we don't want lukewarm in this audience. We want fans. We want people who are ready to say hell yes to everything we're doing. So that is the 5 days. It is super simple. And also with emails, we want to make them super simple also. We want to keep it short. We want, like I said, one thing at a time. We might send our blog post out as an email, which I highly recommend. We might send event information out as an email. I also highly recommend that. You're going to send multiple reminders for those events. That's going to be multiple emails a month. But people don't regard those as too many. I know you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, if I got that many, I'd unsubscribe. You probably get that many from maybe Kohl's, Target, Amazon. There's probably plenty of places that you get multiple emails from that you have never unsubscribed from. Why? Because you are in it with them. You are part of their brand. You are their ideal customer. So that's what we're looking for here. And if some people unsubscribe, that's okay. They're free to do so, and we don't need them in the roles because we're just going to clutter their inbox. They don't really want to see what we have to say. And that's fine. Like I said, not everyone is for you. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope that these 5 things are something you can take away and do right now, today, in your organization. And if you'd like help implementing these things, we do something called Absolute Marketing Live, where we sit down one-on-one. We also have a group coaching program, which takes 5 weeks instead of 5 days. And I also have something called Borrow a CMO, which is where I will come into your organization, me or one of my colleagues come into your organization, and we will actually sit down with you and your team, and we will figure out what marketing you need to do and who can do it. We will actually delegate to the person who has the most aptitude on the team. And sometimes that means you might need to outsource some things, but other times it's really interesting to find some great hidden technology and marketing talents on your own team. So, because we know the right questions to ask, and we know how to get in there and probe that out of them and make sure that they're like, wow, I knew that I had this skill, but I didn't think to tell anybody. Or sometimes they're just like, you know what, I really like to do this type of job, and we can help delegate those things from you to them. So as a director, you are getting those things off your plate, but they're also getting done by someone who is doing it well. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Elizabeth Pampalone, and if you're interested in more tips like this, please check out our Absolute Marketing Podcast. It's absolutemarketingpodcast.com, and I will talk to you next time.